Good morning, all of you. Now let's discuss the questions in page number 4 under the heading Try This in your first chapter, Integers. So, the first question is write a pair of integers whose sum gives a negative integer. Okay, what's the meaning of that? We need to find two integers such as whenever we are adding them, the answer will be a negative integer. Okay, you can give any example. You know that in order to get a negative integer as answer in addition, both integers should be a negative number. In some other case also we will get negative integer as answer, but an easy method to get this negative integer in the answer is to take both integers as negative and add them. Okay, so let's take any example. I am taking -1 plus -2. Okay, so what will be the answer? Here both are having the same sign. So when we are adding, we can add 1 plus 2, that is 3, and put the negative sign. So answer will be -3. So here in this case, we got the answer as a negative integer. Okay, so the answer is correct. There are some other examples also where you will get the answer as a negative integer. For example, if you are taking a higher number with negative sign and a smaller number with positive sign, and when you are adding them, so here you can see that both are having different signs, then you have to subtract them. So 5 minus 4 means 1, and put the sign of higher number, that is negative number. So in this case also we got the sum as negative number, and here also the sum answer is a negative number or a negative integer. So both these are correct. In the first case we took both the integers as negative, then the answer will be a negative integer. And in the second case, the higher number should be a negative number. Okay, here 5 is greater than 4, so 5 should be a negative number and 4 should be a positive number. Then only in the answer we will get a negative number. Okay, now let's see the second or the B part. What is the B part? 0. We need to find a pair of integers whose sum gives 0. That is, in the answer you should get 0. So you need to take a pair of integers. So in order to get 0 in the sum, the only way is to take a number plus 1 and minus 1. Take a number and add it with the negative of the same number. Okay, you can take any other example. 12 plus 12 plus minus 12. What is plus 12 plus minus 12? 12 minus 12, both are having different signs, so we need to do the subtraction. So 12 minus 12, 0. Okay, so this is the case. In the case of 0, there is no need of putting negative or positive sign. 0 is neither a positive integer nor a negative integer. Okay, so this is the second question answer. Now let's see C. C is write a pair of integers whose sum gives an integer which is smaller than both the integers. That is, in the answer we should get an integer such that it is smaller than both the integers. The answer should be smaller than both the integers when we are doing addition. So we need to find such number. For this question, first let's take an integer. Say I am taking -4. Okay, and then you need to take an integer which is smaller than this -4. Let's take -6. You know that -6 is smaller than -4, and you need to add this. Then what you will get? -4 plus -6, both are having same sign, so you need to add them. That is 4 plus 6 equal to 10, and you need to put the sign, that is minus, so minus 10. And you know that minus 10 is smaller than minus 4 as well as minus 6. Okay, so this is the answer for this one. You can take any other example. Let's take minus 10, and let's take any other integer which is smaller than minus 10, minus 12. It is smaller than minus 10. Now add them. What you will get? 10 plus 12, it is 22, and put the sign as negative sign. And here minus 22 is smaller than minus 10 and minus 12. Okay, so in this way you have to take the questions. Now let's see D. What is D? An integer which is smaller than only one of the integers. So in the previous question, or in the C case, the answer should be smaller than both the integers, but here the integer should be smaller than only one of the integers. In that case, what you have to do? First you have to take an integer minus 4. Okay, then you have to take an integer which is greater than minus 4. What is greater than minus 4? Let's take minus 2. Okay, then what you will get the answer? Minus 4 plus minus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6, and put the sign. So in this case you got minus 6. This minus 6 is smaller than minus 4, but minus 6 is not smaller than minus 2. So our condition is satisfied. Okay, understood? You can take any other example. Let's take minus 6. And now you have to take a number which is greater than minus 6. Number which is greater than minus 6, you can take minus 4. Okay, now if you are adding them, you will get 6 plus 4 is 10, and you have to put the sign as negative. Now this minus 10 is smaller than minus 6, but it's not smaller than minus 4. Okay, so conditions are satisfied. So in this case, first you have to take an integer, and then the second integer should be greater than the first integer. Then you will get the condition satisfied. Okay, so this is the case. Now what is E? You need to get an integer which is greater than both the integers. That is very easy. If you are adding any two positive integers, then you will get the answer which is greater than both the integers. Let's see. If you are taking plus 4 plus 2, what will be the answer? 4 plus 2, 6 plus 6, which is greater than 4 and 2. Okay, you can take any other example. Plus 10 plus 2. What is the answer? 12 plus 12, which is greater than 10 and 2. Okay, so this is the case. So in this way you can find any pair of integers whose sum will give all these things. I hope you understood this. Now let's do the second question in this. Try this. Now our next question is, write a pair of integers whose difference gives. In the previous question, or in the first question, it was the sum, but here it is different, so you need to consider the subtraction parts. Okay, so first question is, whose difference is a negative integer. Whenever we are subtracting any two integers, the answer should be a negative integer. Write a question in such way. Okay, so in the case of first question, you need to get a negative integer as the answer when you do the subtraction. So you know that when you are subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number, you will get the negative integer as the answer. That is, suppose we are subtracting plus 4 minus plus 5. That is, we are subtracting a bigger number from the smaller number. Then you will get the answer as a negative number. In this case, you know that minus 4 minus plus 5. How you are doing the subtraction? That is, you are taking the additive inverse of the second number, and you are just putting the plus sign instead of minus sign. That is, plus 4 Instead of minus you put plus, and you will take the additive inverse of plus 5, that is minus 5. Then what will be the answer? Here adding integers having different sign means what? You need to subtract them, that is 5 minus 4, that is 1, and you need to put the sign of bigger number, which is 5 here, so minus 1. So minus 1 will be the answer. So you got a negative integer as the answer. That is, here as examples you can take two integers such that the second number is a higher number than the first one. Okay. You can take any other example also. Let's take an example as minus 1. Okay. And you are taking the second number which is higher than this minus 1. Let's take 2. Okay. Now what will be the answer? Minus 1. Instead of minus we put plus, and instead of 2 you put minus 2. Minus 2. So minus 1 plus minus 2. Integers having same sign, then you have to add them and put the negative sign. So minus 3. Here we got a negative integer as the answer. So here the only thing is the second number should be greater than the first number, then you will get the answer as a negative integer. Now let's see B. Question B. That is, in the answer you should get 0 whenever a pair of integers whose difference gives 0. That's very easy, because in order to get 0, what you have to do? You have to take an integer and subtract the same integer from that integer, that is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. That's an example. Or you can take any negative integer, minus 2 minus minus 2. Okay, what will be the answer? Minus 2. Instead of minus you put plus. Instead of minus 2, additive inverse of minus 2 is 2. Okay, so minus 2 plus 2, what is the answer? 0. Okay, so that is the answer for B. Now let's see the C, which is an integer which is smaller than both the integers. That is, whenever we are doing the difference or the subtraction, then we should get an integer which is smaller than both the integers. So let's take an integer minus 1, and let's take another integer which is greater than this minus 1, that is 4, or a positive integer. Let's take a positive integer. Then what will be the answer? Minus 1 plus minus 4. What is the answer? Minus 5. Okay, so in this case you can see that the integer which we got, that is minus 5, it is smaller than minus 1 as well as it is smaller than 4 also. Okay, in this way you can take. Now you can take any other example. Let's take a negative integer as minus 3 minus, let's take any positive integer 1. Okay, so what is the case here? Minus 3 plus minus 1. What is the answer? Answer is minus 4. So you can see that minus 4 is smaller than minus 3 as well as 1. Okay, in this way you can do the answer. Now what is D? Write a pair of integers whose difference gives an integer which is greater than only one of the integers. The answer should be greater than only one of the integers. Okay. So let's take a number, positive integer 3, and let's subtract 1 from 3. Then you will get the answer as 2. In this case 2, it is greater than only the second number but not the first number. Now let's take any other example. Say suppose I am taking 10 and I am taking a number which is less than this 10. Let's take 2. Now you will get the answer as 8. Here you can see that 8 is greater than 2 but it's not greater than 10. Okay, So in all these cases you can see that in the case of D, you can see that the second number should be less than the first number. Then you will get the answer as an integer which is greater than only one of the integers. Okay, in that way you can take the examples. Now let's see the last question, which is an integer which is greater than both the integers. Integer which is greater than both the integers means in our answer it should be greater than both the integers that we are taking. Okay, for that let's take 1, and the next number that we are taking should be a negative integer such that its value or its number should be greater than 1. That is, excluding this negative sign, that number should be greater than 1. For example, let's take 5 such that 5 is greater than 1. Okay, so you can see the answer as 1 minus 5 means what? 1 plus, what is the additive inverse of minus 5? It is plus 5. So you will get the answer as plus 6. So you can see that plus 6 is greater than 1 as well as minus 5. And you can take any other example. Let's take 3 and minus. You should take a negative number such that its number, for example 11. Okay, 11 is greater than 3. In that way you have to take, not negative 11 is not greater than 3, but 11 is greater than 3. In that way you have to take the numbers. So 3 minus 11 equal to what? 3 plus 11. What is 3 plus 11? It's equal to plus 14. Okay, so 14 is greater than minus 11 as well as 3. So in this way you can do these questions. So all these are my examples. You can take any other examples such that the conditions are satisfied. So this is the answer for questions under try this.